Commissioner Villanueva.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum as we define it. I'll need to seek a motion to amend the agenda. Jeremy, I think you're seeking a motion to amend the agenda by removing item number 6, advisory opinion 2025-05, legislator conflicts of interest.
That's right, Chair. The staff would seek a motion to remove item 6 from the agenda. Commissioners, this was an informal advisory opinion that the staff issued, but Casey and I kind of had a chance to review this in depth over the past few days, and we think that this opinion should not be published onto OneSource. Although the conclusion is correct on one of the lines of reasoning related to the GSD rules for the procurement of real estate, because the procurement code doesn't apply to state purchases of real estate. We don't think that this opinion is sound in its entirety, although the conclusion is correct. And so for that, we don't want to see this one published on OneSource, and we're asking for it to come off the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second to so amend the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, is there any opposition to amending the agenda to remove item number 6? Hearing none, the agenda is approved as amended, and item number 6 is hereby removed from consideration. Item 3, approval of the minutes of the special meeting of September 9th. Is there a motion and a second?
Move to approve the minutes?
Yes. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Any opposition? No one is opposed, so the minutes of the September 9th, 2025 special commission meeting are hereby approved. All right. Item number 4. Amelia?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. I'd like to provide a quick update on the Ethics Forum the Commission's hosting next month. It will take place on Wednesday, November 5th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The first hour will be networking, and then the last couple hours will move into panels and discussions. It's a half-day program, and the goal is really to bring together local ethics officials. So we'll have city representation, county representation, and state leaders. And really the purpose is to strengthen collaboration across the state. We're trying to clarify roles between the different jurisdictions and identify opportunities to improve ethics oversight. So far, we've gotten a lot of interest. We have over 30 people registered, and we have some good panelists. So the first panel, Dee Dee Feldman will be the moderator, and then we'll have Zach and Casey on that panel, and they'll be talking about the commission itself, kind of giving an overview of what we do, the different roles within the agency. And then the second panel, it's looking more outward at what ethics boards around the state do and where there might be room for collaboration. Jeremy will be moderating that panel, and we have Ethan Watson, City Clerk of Albuquerque, as a panelist, and Marcos, the Senior Assistant City Attorney for Santa Fe, as the other panelists. So we're excited about it. If you're available, we would encourage you to come. Registration's open now. If you're interested, please reach out to me and I can get you all the details.
Great. Thanks very much, Amelia.
Thank you, Chair.
All right. The next item is item number.
Can I just ask a question about that?
Sorry. Sure, Stuart.
Sorry. Thank you for Amelia. I'm just curious, how many jurisdictions right now have local ethics boards or commissions, and is there a hope that this could lead to more jurisdictions adopting them? And just what's your sense of how that's going statewide?
Yeah, I don't have a number of how many ethics boards there are around the state, but but I will say from the feedback I've received thus far, folks are seeing this as an opportunity to understand what the ethics laws are in the state. And so I think it's largely an education opportunity for folks around the state and a way to network. A lot of the folks who have reached out to me are excited by meeting members of the commission staff. And so, yeah, I think there is hope that through this discussion, we will be able to identify where there are gaps between what we have jurisdiction over and what falls to the local officials, and using that maybe as a springboard for reform looking forward.
Yeah, that sounds like a good goal. I mean, I think in Santa Fe, we have both a county and a city local ethics board. And I assume in Albuquerque, they have the same, but I don't know for a fact whether that's true. And I don't know about the other larger cities, Las Cruces, Roswell, Farmington. Do you have any information about any of those?
Albuquerque, yes, and we will have representation from the city's ethics oversight board, and Las Cruces as well. I'm not sure about Roswell or Farmington. I do believe we have a judge coming in from Farmington who will be attending. I don't think we have any contingency from Roswell.
Okay, well, it sounds good, and good luck on it. I hope it works out well.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Great. Thanks, Amelia. All right. The next item is item number 5, approval of the commission's fiscal year 27 budget requests. Jeremy and Wendy.
Okay, Chair and Commissioners. Wendy is feeling under the weather, so this will be me. And if to the extent that Sharon is interested to jump in on any questions about the cost structure, I'll ask her to do that. So Commissioners, I have a statutory duty to present to you the Commission's budget every year. What you have before you is the FY27 budget request that the Commission submitted to the LFC and to DFA on September the 1st. We'll do this again once we receive an operating budget for FY27 after the legislative session, and that will be the budget presented for your approval for FY27. But this is a view of the request. We do it twice because DFA would prefer that. They would prefer that the state boards and commissions approve the budget requests that are submitted as well. So in this budget request, for the first time, I believe we're asking for an annual appropriation in Section 4 of HB2 that is north of $2 million. The difference between this budget request and the current FY26 operating budget really falls into two categories. First, we're seeking about $107,000 more dollars in the 200s for an additional attorney staff member. And as the Commission is aware, we've been experiencing a large increase in the volume of RELONA cases in particular. And so we are really asking and signaling to the LFC that we need an additional staff member to help cover this docket. And so the FY27 request makes provision for that additional attorney staff member in the 200s. And then in the 400s, we're seeking a pretty significant increase, about $50,000 increase over where our budget is now in the 400s. Our 400s have been trimmed over the past couple of budget cycles, and we really need to get that funding back and get the 400s budget back to about $190,000-200,000. We, as the commissioners know, we've expanded the office space here at the Science and Technology Park, and currently we're paying for that expansion and some of that rent through a special appropriation that we have that runs for a couple of fiscal years. But we need to build the funding for the expanded lease costs into the 400s budget. this budget request makes provision for that. We're also experiencing normal cost increases across our Westlaw subscriptions and our rental of equipment, our Canon printers. This budget makes provision for that. And at some point, we're anticipating that there will be more travel, and particularly if the commissioners ever want to come back and meet together in person, we need to kind of have a budget that makes that available. We have commissioners that are down in the far southeast corners of the state, and we would like to be able to fund y'all to come to Albuquerque or Santa Fe and meet together, or wherever the commission pleases to have its in-person meetings. But we're asking for a budget increase in the 400s to make provision for that eventuality, as well as we move farther and farther away from the pandemic and the kind of the restructuring for virtual meetings that we've come upon. I think, Chair, that covers the main differences between the FY27 appropriation request and over our current FY26 operating budget. I will also say, commissioners, that we're beginning to experience more cost increases in the 400s generally, just as we pursue our work, and in the 300s, the more litigated cases we have requires more depositions, which increase court reporter costs. We also anticipate that Judge Torgerson will be coming back to do some hearing officer work in this fiscal year. And so the budget is always relatively tight, but by the time we get to the end of FY26, I think we'll be perverting very, very little funds this year. And hopefully the FY27 budget will provide us more flexibility. And if it does not, I believe that our expenditures over FY26 will create a very compelling case for the FY28 budget request. And so with that, Chair and Commissioners, I'm submitting this FY27 budget request for your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion, a second, to approve the 27 budget request?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Anybody have questions or discussion points? We've gone over a lot of this before, but yes, Commissioner Baker.
Yeah, Jeremy, are you happy with the present location? Does it serve your needs, your staff's needs?
At the Science and Technology Park?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. So we've made large investments this year from the special appropriation to improve the security of the commission's offices here at the Science and Technology Park. And I think everybody feels more comfortable and secure working here. We're behind several locked or restricted access doors. UNM has installed cameras. There are constant video cameras going in the hallways and in the lobby of the building now. The office, and from our understanding, that video feeds directly into the UNM Police Department. And so I think that the Science and Technology Park is better than it's ever been for us. It also allows meeting space that we have access to, the auditorium, the executive boardroom, which the commissioners have used before for appeals of administrative cases. We've used the rotunda when we have international visitors come. And so all of that is included in our lease. And I think it's a very good partnership that we have with the Science and Technology Park. I would and Commissioner Baker, we have options to continue in this lease space that extend out about a decade. And so we have a very, very favorable price for kind of Class A office space in Albuquerque.
Thank you.
Stuart?
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. Looks good. These are public documents, right? The budget and the strategic plan?
They are.
Okay. And because I had somebody asking me for information about the commission, and I just figure I can give them those then now. Following up Jeff's question, could you comment on the extent to which you and the staff are still being harassed by either emails or texts or calls You've alluded to that in the past, and I'm just curious about what's going on. You seem comfortable with the security that you've got there now, but I want to just get a sense from you about the extent to which these disturbing calls and texts and all, and maybe even visits too, have been continuing.
So so Chair Commissioner Bluestone, thank you for that question and concern. That is still happening, but to a greatly reduced volume as compared to, I suppose, about a year ago, perhaps a bit more when we were inundated with hateful messages. We've done a good job of filtering a lot of this out. So, I mean, these kinds of messages I ordinarily don't see. It filters right into a deleted folder in my inbox. But when I scroll over to that deleted folder, I see kind of a record of some of those messages. I no longer answer the phone if it's an out-of-state call. I just if it's not a number that I recognize and it's from some city that I've never heard of, then it's a call I won't answer. Under the I think the very strongly grounded assumption that is a hate message. I believe Amelia also receives these, and we see them on the Ethics Commission inbox and in the main line as well. And Amelia, if you want to comment on that'd be fine. But so this is a kind of continuing aspect, and I think it's just a virtue of the fact that some of these doxing videos are on the internet forever, and from time to time they kind of get picked up and they recirculate.
And Commissioner, I will add, because I do see it maybe the most out of anyone from the agency. My cell is listed in most places as the direct line to reach the commission, and I manage the landline. And I'd say we are still getting on average 5 to 10 voicemails a week from folks who are sending in hateful messages.
But given that volume, you still feel comfortable, both of you, with the security measures we have in place and what we're doing and proposing in this budget?
I do. I feel comfortable coming to work. I think that sentiment is shared by the staff. We have another location here at the Science and Technology Park that I think is even more secure than the commission's main offices. And for staff members that are the least comfortable, we have a place for them to work also. And we still have about $50,000 in our special appropriation for any security related upgrades that we need to make over the next fiscal year should we see the need for that. So we have some flexibility there. I'm not sure what else we might do, Commissioner Bluestone. We've everything is now subject to locking key card access, and we have cameras across the park that again feed directly into UNM police. And we have signs posted around about the numbers to call, and yeah, I mean, we occasionally I'll also send circulars around that, like, just reminding the staff that we've received some strange messages, like, remember, don't open the door for someone that you don't recognize, or don't open the door for this person. So we're still in a position to make upgrades if we need them, but right now I'm not sure what else we might do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think, Gus Klingman, you had your hand up earlier.
My question has been answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, there's a motion and a second to approve the FY 27 budget request as contained in your materials. And I'll go ahead and roll call it since it's a budget matter. Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan's excused, Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation on that. We'll next move to item number 6 of the amended agenda, which is advisory opinion 2025. What's the revised number on that, Jeremy? 05?
Sure, that this will be.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Casey, that's yours. Yeah, so on advisory opinion 2025-05, legislative staff conflicts of interest in public contracts. Casey.
All right. Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. We have before you a rather lengthy opinion addressing several questions that we received related to ethical statutes as they pertain to legislative staff, including both staff assigned to individual legislators, such as district legislative aides, and staff serving in leadership offices. The questions primarily deal with what contracts these legislative staff members can enter into. As a preliminary matter, legislative staff members, so long as they're employees of the legislature, are subject to the Governmental Conduct Act, and they would have continuing obligations under the revolving door provisions of the Governmental Conduct Act when they leave employment. And so this will apply for staff as long as they are staff. So the first question asks whether legislative staff may directly bid on state contracts. And the answer is yes, they may. This is governed by Section 7A of the Governmental Conduct Act, which provides that a state agency may award an employee of a state agency a contract, provided that the contract is awarded pursuant to a competitive process and that the staff member's interest in the contract is disclosed through public notice. And so on that, we received some feedback from Commissioner Bluestone on what would constitute public notice. And with that, on page 5 of the advisory opinion, in this first rather long sentence, it says, accordingly, a legislative staff member, while a state public employee, may enter into a contract with a state agency only where the contract is awarded pursuant to a competitive process. The staff member discloses the staff member's substantial interest in the contract through public notice, and the staff member did not participate directly or indirectly in the procurement on behalf of the state. Staff would recommend including a footnote after the contract through public notice that would provide a little more context on what public notice might be. And the footnote I would propose would read, public notice could include disclosure of the employee's interest in the request for proposal process. For example, the sample RFP template from the General Services Department's State Purchasing Division includes as Appendix 1 an affidavit for current employees of a state agency to identify the department/state agency with whom the employee is affiliated, with a citation to that document. So when an agency puts an RFP out, this is one of the documents that is recommended for inclusion by General Services, is an affidavit that says, I am a current employee of the blank department. And so unless there's some sort of confidential reason, the RFPs aren't subject to disclosure. RFPs proposals are usually subject to public records requests, public inspection. Part of identifying what public notice might be for a contract is there's a really wide variety of contracts. One of the questions in here deals with leases and is discussed in that section. Leases aren't handled through the procurement code. Rather, they would be handled through GSD regulations, which require a competitive process. And so it might not necessarily be the same RFP. And so depending on what that contract is, public notice might look a little different depending on the contract and the specifics of the agency, what's happening. So I would make that recommendation to include that footnote. Moving on, the opinion or the request asks whether legislative staff may become subcontractors on a contract that somebody else has with a state agency. The answer is yes, subject to general ethical requirements. Section 7A addresses only contracts between a state agency and a state public employee, their family, their business. It doesn't extend to a subcontractor, where the subcontract would be between the public employee and the contractor who has the contract. And so unless there's some sort of quid pro quo arrangement or some other prohibited ethical violation, that wouldn't really be implicated by Section 7A. The same is true for the next question, which asks whether staff members are permitted to enter into contracts with local government agencies. Again, Section 7A only addresses contracts between a state agency and a public employee of the state or their families and businesses. 7B similarly applies to local government agencies, but only to contracts between local government agencies and public employees of that local government. And so that wouldn't be applicable to staff members of the legislature. They would be permitted to enter into those contracts. The next question is about whether legislative staff members may lease property to the state. As I said before, these are contracts. 7A would require a competitive process and public notice. The regulations from the General Services Department through their Facilities Management Division requires a competitive process. And so where the regulations issued under the Property Control Act apply, that would satisfy the requirements of Section 7A. Finally, this is a rather general question about other potential conflict of interest considerations. And so the remainder of the opinion discusses some of those issues that might come up under Section 3, which requires employees to treat their office as a public trust. They can't use their office to obtain personal benefits or for private interests. There are certain financial interests that they're prohibited from acquiring. And so I can go more specifically into those if you would like. But with that, that's as much of this opinion as I can do in a nutshell. And so with that, I will stand for any questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion, a second, to approve the issuance of the advisory opinion as presented?
I move to approve it, including the footnote that she explained to be added.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Anybody? Discussion? Anybody have a question or comment? Yeah, so
I just like to say it's a very complicated question, and I think you've done a great job. So thank you very much. And your nutshell was very good.
it was. All right. There's a motion and a second, and being no further discussion, Commissioner Baker?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
And Commissioner McMillan is not with us today. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The motion passes. Thanks. Thanks for your usual good work, Casey. All right, next we'll go to advisory opinion item number 7 on the agenda, AO 2025-06, lobbyist employer requirements for legislative reception. That would be you, Ms. Branch. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. This was an informal advisory opinion that we prepared, and Commissioner Baker requested it be converted to a formal opinion. So we're presenting it to the Commission today to be issued as a formal opinion. It, in a nutshell, addresses a political grassroots committee or grassroots network and membership organization that has a reception for legislators during the session. And what the Lobbying Regulation Act and the GIFT Act requires from that group regarding any lobbying activities that may or may not occur during that reception. And it goes through the different exceptions to lobbying, and also talks about what reporting requirements are there, and it also addresses the GIFT Act. I think importantly, and most helpful, hopefully, to other organizations in this situation, we offer at the conclusion kind of some guidance as to what these types of organizations can do to make sure that they meet any requirements. And that includes that, the organization not support or oppose pending legislation or official action at the reception, or conversely, if the reception does support or oppose pending legislation or official action, the organization meets the reporting requirements of the Lobbying Regulation Act. The value of food and beverages per legislator remains below the statutory limit. Any member meeting the definition of a lobbyist, register as a lobbyist, and comply with all applicable recording requirements, and the organization tracks the cumulative value of all gifts or benefits provided to each legislature in a calendar year. We do have one typo that we noticed in the conclusion, and that would be in number 3. We would ask that it be approved subject to the change of definitions to definition. And so with that, I will stand for questions. I've done a very brief overview, but I can go in more in depth if you have any questions.
Thank you. Becky, there is a motion. Is there a motion and second to approve the advisory opinion 2025-06 with the amended, with the suggestion that it be amended for the typo just discussed? Is there a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded. Any discussions, questions? Stuart?
Thanks, Becky. Got another good job. Appreciate it. As an example, if Common Cause has a reception and they just say, we want to welcome everybody, and we appreciate all the work of all the legislators, and they give out an award to a legislator or something like that, and they don't mention any legislation, any bills, then they're home free and don't have to do any reporting. But if they say, we're supporting the creation of an independent redistricting commission, and this is being sponsored by Representative and Senator so-and-so, and we would urge you to support that, all of you who are here, then that would implicate the reporting requirements of the lobbying work. Is that basically correct? My understanding of what your opinion is saying?
That is correct. And it may also implicate some of the requirements under the GIFT Act.
Right.
If defined as a lobbyist, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, is there no further discussion? What's your position on the motion, Mr. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Mr. Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan's absent. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Thank you, Becky, very much.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners.
You bet. All right, the next one back to you, Casey, on item number 8 on the agenda, advisory opinion 2025-07, campaign expenditures for security expenses.
Chair, Commissioners, the Commission has handled several opinions asking similar questions this year. In Advisory Opinion 2025-01, the Commission was asked whether campaign funds may be used for childcare expenses. In Advisory Opinion 2025-04, the Commission was asked whether campaign funds may be used for legal expenses. And here the question is whether campaign funds may be used for security expenses. And the request defines those as non-structural security devices, structural security devices, professional security personnel and services, and cybersecurity software devices and services. And the answer is yes in certain circumstances. A candidate may use campaign funds to cover security expenses that are reasonably attributable to the candidate's campaign. A legislator may use campaign funds to cover the same security expenses as long as the funds are reasonably attributable to the legislator's duties of office. But other public officers, once they're no longer campaigning, would not be permitted to use campaign funds to cover security or other expenses that are incurred as a result of the holding of public office. And so I'll walk through this a little bit. The Campaign Reporting Act prohibits the use of campaign funds unless it's expressly permitted. The two exceptions that are relevant here are expenditures of the campaign and expenditures of legislators that are reasonably related to performing the duties of the office held, including mail, telephone, and travel expenditures to serve constituents, but excluding personal and legislative session living expenses. And the Secretary of State has promulgated additional regulations defining expenditures of the campaign and interpreting personal use expenses. And the definition of personal use of campaign funds is any use of funds in a campaign account to fulfill a commitment, obligation, or expense of any candidate or legislator that would exist regardless of the candidate's campaign or responsibilities as a legislator. And so turning to the question at hand, this, like the other two expenses discussed, sort of fall in this area of they're not expressly permitted, but they don't fall on the per se list of personal use that would be prohibited. And so the question really is, do these constitute expenditures of the campaign? And so the answer is where security expenses are reasonably attributable to a candidate's campaign, or for a legislator where they are reasonably related to performing the duties of office, and they are not expenses that would exist in the absence of the candidacy, or even if the legislator was not in office, then those expenditures are acceptable. This is supported by a long line of cases from the FEC. There's a rather large footnote in here discussing those. And they address each of these types of security expenses included in the request. They address structural devices, they address professional security personnel, they address cybersecurity issues, and conclude in each of those that where they meet this test, are they sufficiently related to the campaign or the office? Those expenditures are permissible. The opinion also includes a little bit of a caveat that says, you know, if you already have your security system up and running, or you have a security organization that you're already working with that comes by and checks your house, and then you become a candidate, that those wouldn't necessarily be related to the candidacy or to legislative office. As I noted before, there also is a distinction in the law between legislators and other public officials under the Campaign Reporting Act. The only public officials that may use campaign funds to pay for expenditures related to office are legislators. And there is a footnote that was dropped in here that acknowledges the distinction and says perhaps it's a policy decision by the legislature that perhaps arises because legislators receive no compensation beyond per diem and mileage, whereas other officers receive salaries and also additional benefits of the state. So with that, I will stand for any questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second to adopt and issue the advisory opinion 2025-07?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion, questions? Stuart?
Yes, thanks, Kate. Thank you, Casey. Very well done again. My question concerns whether we as a commission should say something either in a footnote here or in our legislative recommendations that while this is our view of the law as written, that we believe it's a policy decision the legislature may want to consider if they want to allow other elected officials and public officials to use campaign funds for security purposes other than legislators. That right now, we believe it's under the law, it's only limited to legislators. And personally, I think it's fine for the state to take on the responsibility of providing security for all of its other elected officials. But I can also imagine that there are good policy reasons to allow other public officials to use campaign funds to beef up security at their homes or wherever. And I just am wondering whether we ought to have some acknowledgement of that issue, either in this opinion or in our legislative recommendations. I don't like the idea of waiting until a public official has a terrible incident before the state provides money to provide security for them at their home or elsewhere. And I can imagine that it could be a wise decision on the legislature's part to allow other public officials besides legislators to be able to use campaign funds as well to provide security. It could reach down to county office holders as well, who are covered by the Campaign Reporting Act. So I don't really have a strong recommendation, but I'm just raising the issue to see if there's any sentiment among the commissioners as to whether to acknowledge this issue in a footnote in this opinion, or to consider it possibly for our legislative recommendations report. Not that we're necessarily recommending that it be done, but that we've uncovered this issue in the course of approving this opinion, and we raise it as an issue that the legislature may want to consider. So I just wanted to throw that out there and see if there's any reactions, either from you, Casey, or Jeremy, or anybody else on the commission about that.
Anyone? So, Jeff?
Yeah, I just have a question for the judges. Y'all had to run for office. Y'all raised money to run for office. Unfortunately, judges have become targets. What are your thoughts about being able to use campaign funds to enhance security?
Well, I guess that in response to what you're asking, Jeff, under the retention system, we run, but we don't raise any money.
I'm having difficulty hearing you, Gary.
I said, under the retention system, you run a contested race your first time, and you raise money. You don't, but you have a committee that does. But after that, you go on retention, and you continue to run, but you don't raise any money, or I never did. I was on the bench as a district judge for 22 years. Bill, I don't know, did you ever raise any money?
No, but that doesn't mean if there were an instance that I was concerned about the security of my home immediate family that was reasonably related to my job that I was trying to keep, that makes perfect sense that I would be able to do that. And there's no prohibition on raising money if something or someone surfaces in opposition to your retention. I don't think, and I'm going on faded weak memory here, but I think you can't go out and raise money unless there is some acknowledged foe. And someone making a threat would be, to me, pretty good evidence that you had somebody opposed to your retention of life, much less your office. But so yeah, I just, that seems kind of an easy call to me that you would be able to do that.
I would think so.
And I don't think would run afoul of, there wouldn't be any hand wringing in any public entity or anywhere else. I mean, if somebody's coming at you, if you get one nasty letter and you go raise $200,000 and put in quite the security system, yeah. Again, it's a matter of degrees and common sense how that all works out, but yeah, it can happen.
So Chair, Commissioners, this is really sort of a policy call from the commission.
Yeah.
I think the opinion highlights this difference,
Yeah.
that legislators will be aware of that.
Right.
The commission does have the obligation annually to make any recommendations to the legislature.
Right.
And that perhaps that might be a more specific and potentially efficient way to communicate that to the legislature if that's something that the commission as a whole is interested
Yeah,
in.
and I forgot to address that. I agree completely that that's part of our mission and duty. But if we start adding things into advisory opinions that go into op-ed type stuff, I would hesitate to see where we might not eventually be drafting. You might be drafting some pretty lengthy, wordy documents when in fact you just point it out and say this could be fixed, and then we do that and they take it up and they either do it or not. I think I agree with Casey that that's the appropriate way to proceed. And I think it's a good catch, Stuart. So, anyone else? Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the issuance of advisory opinion 2025-07 as presented. No further discussion. Commissioner
Sorry,
Baker?
Chair, Commissioners, my apologies. There was one additional amendment that was recommended on page 2.
Oh.
And that last sentence in the answer that says, other than legislators, however, public officers may not use campaign funds that are incurred as a direct result of holding public office. And the recommendation is to include additional language that says, may not use campaign funds to cover security or other expenses that are incurred as a direct result of holding public office, and just make that a little bit more express there.
Okay. All right. So that was part of the motion in the second to include that, because that was part of, well, let's make that clear. That with the amendment that Casey just clarified, is the motion and are the motion and second still on the table?
Yes.
2 yeses. Okay. No further discussion. So the amended motion and second, Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman? Gary?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, we got you now. Okay, Commissioner McMillan's excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you, Casey. Good work, as usual.
Okay, Mr. Chair, just a point of clarification for me. We're not putting anything in the opinion with regard to the possibility of suggesting to the legislature that they look at this. We'll take that up when we look at the list of things that we may suggest to the legislature.
That's correct.
Great. Makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Now, before we move, let's go ahead and get into this. The next section of the agenda is the beginning of the public rulemaking hearing pursuant to Mexico statutes annotated 1978 sections 14.4, 5.3 and 1.24.25.13 New Mexico and NMAC. This, I think, is also you, Casey, is it not?
Yes, Chair, Commissioners, I'll be handling this agenda item as well. Commission staff periodically review the Commission's rules to ensure that they're up to date and to address any issues or ambiguities that might come up. And so before you are what are largely cleanup rules. For example, in 2023, the State Ethics Commission Act was amended to change the process for administrative complaints. Initially, the general counsel made a determination as to whether or not a complaint was supported by probable cause. Now the general counsel determines if a complaint is not frivolous or unsubstantiated, at which point a hearing officer makes that determination. And while the commission made changes in 2023 to the rules, the rules still have some sections that don't correctly reflect that change to the statute. The changes expressly incorporate a voluntary compliance aspect into the commission's investigation and assessment processes where required by applicable law. It expands the definition of ethics laws to include not only those laws that are included in Section 9A of the State Ethics Commission Act, but also any other laws over which the commission has jurisdiction or authority to act. And that's to really address what the legislature has done in recent legislative sessions, which is to include, rather than in Section 9A, additional laws, but include in the other laws themselves authority for the State Ethics Commission to act. And so this change would just allow commission staff to process those complaints in the same manner that it processes other informal complaints. As the remainder of the changes, because they're largely cleanup, I'm not going to go through them one by one. There is one additional recommendation from staff that's the result of public comment that we received, and that will be to section 1.8.3.14b, which deals with administrative hearings. This subpart currently provides that a hearing officer in an administrative hearing for an administrative complaint has the discretion to determine the location of a hearing based on the reasonable concerns of the respective parties, witnesses, and representatives in the proceeding. If a party shows undue burden, the hearing officer may move the hearing to a more appropriate venue. But the rule currently does not expressly say whether the location can be in a virtual format or not. And so this would just include in there and clarify that in weighing these considerations, a hearing officer can determine that a virtual format is more appropriate for the hearing. And so that's an amendment to the proposed rule staff will be recommending when the commission considers these rules. Other than that, I'm happy to answer when the commissioners do discuss the rules and consider the rules for adoption. I'm happy to answer any questions on specific amendments. First, we have 2 items of business for the rule hearing. The first is documents that already constitute the record for this hearing, and then any public comment that people wish to give during the hearing. And so for the administrative record, the commission has not adopted its own procedural rules governing rule hearings. And so the rule is the default procedural rule for rulemaking, which is this 1.24.25 NMAC. The rule provides that pre-filed written comments are part of the rulemaking record without the need for formal admission. Pre-filed comments include, but are not limited to, public notices of the rulemaking, including any list of individuals to whom notice was mailed or sent electronically, the proposed rules in underline and strike-through format, and any written comments submitted during the comment period prior to the rule hearing. And so those are already part of the administrative record for this hearing. And I'll just briefly address what those documents are. First is the notice of rulemaking and public rule hearing published on August 26, 2025 in the New Mexico Register in volume 36, issue 16. The notice provided notice of the rulemaking, the rule hearing, and provided for a 30-day written comment period. The notice was also published on the Sunshine Portal for more than 30 days. Notice was provided by email to all interested persons who've requested notice from the commission, and notice was provided by email to the Legislative Counsel Service. The notice and the rules were further published on the commission's own website for more than 30 days. They've been up since August, if not before that, and they include the proposed rules in underline and strike-through format. The commission also received written comment from Chris Meschels and Walker Boyd. Two comments from Mr. Meschels. And in addition to those comments being part of the rulemaking, public comment was published on the commission's website within 3 days of receipt of those comments as required. And written public comment was provided to the commission in advance of this hearing. It is also posted on the Sunshine portal for the rule hearing. And so with that, we turn to public testimony for any members of the public who are interested in providing public comments. And I don't see anybody in this meeting who is a member of the public. And so with that, we don't appear to have any public comment. And we would turn to adoption of the amendments to the rules.
Which is item 10 on your agenda. And I'll let you go ahead and suggest, well, it's broken down into Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3. Roman numeral 1 is adoption of amendments to 1.8.1 NMAC. Is there a motion and a second to adopt the amendments as suggested?
So moved.
Thank you. Is any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Commissioner Bluestone or Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
And Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan's excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you. Is there a motion second to adopt as set out in agenda item number 10, Roman numeral 2, adoption of amendments to 1.8.3 NMAC? Motion second.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you. Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Chair, Commissioner,
Yes.
this is the one that has the additional staff recommendation as well on section 1.8.3.14B
Right.
to allow hearing officers to include a virtual option.
Right. So, and does the motion and the second include that?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So it's moved and seconded. Thank you, Casey. So that's clear. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. On to item 10, Roman numeral 3, adoption of amendments to 1.8.5 NMAC. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
I have
So
a question.
moved.
Does this have some amendment in it too, Casey? This section?
Chair, Commissioner Castillo, this other than the amendments that were included in the proposed
Right.
in the proposed amendments that were published, the staff doesn't have any additional
Okay, so
recommendations.
there's nothing else to add.
Correct.
Okay, I'll move. I so move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan
Yes.
excused. Thank you. Commissioner McMillan's excused. Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. All right, so that concludes the end of the public rule hearing and continuation. Another chance, Casey, do we have anybody here from the public or anybody who might be identified as having the ability to make public comment other than what has been received in writing?
Chair, Commissioners, I don't see anybody else, any members of the public who are here
Okay.
for public comment.
All right, so with that, Chair will entertain a motion. In a motion to go into executive session pursuant to NMSA 10.15.1H3 and 10.15.1H7. Is there any opposition to that? Is there a motion and a second?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Thanks. Moved and seconded. Any opposition? Hearing none, we'll now move into executive session following the traditional short break. Thank you.
You.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, there we go.
Gary, you usually have a set of law books as your background. Have you changed?
Well, that changed when I changed computers. I redecorated.
Because I thought you looked a little different. I remember
Yeah.
Gary Carruthers always had a golf hole background as his screensaver.
That's like governor.
Yeah.
All right. We're back together. Amelia?
We're missing here's Judy.
Yeah, I saw her. Are we recording? We're good to go, Amelia?
Yes, I was just getting final numbers. Looks
Okay,
good, Chair.
I'm sorry. Okay, we are back in open session. I will state for the record that matters discussed in closed meeting were limited only to those specified in the motion for closure as read earlier. Okay, item number 15, Becky and then Zach.
Chair, Commissioners, in 2024 NPO 6, staff requests dismissal and issuance of a warning letter.
All right, is there a motion to so dismiss and warn as set forth?
So moved.
Okay, and any discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva? Judy, you're muted. Okay, thumbs up from Commissioner Villanueva. Chair votes yes. So 2024 NPO 6 is dismissed and a warning letter shall issue. Zach, I believe the next three are yours.
Yes, thank you, Chair and Commissioners. In 2025 NPO 9, staff are requesting that the Commission issue a default order to suspend these two notary commissions.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
And I'll second with the amendment we discussed on item number 3 being edited on the default order to read that no response.
I'm sorry, let's just do item number 2. Let's do these because we are in open session. It's being recorded. But yeah, I get that. Item number 2 is 09, the default order of suspension.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah. Okay, so you wanted to edit number 3. The edit was on 3, not 2, correct?
No, it's on this item. It's on the default order, paragraph 3.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Default order. That's right. All right. So, is everyone clear on what that edit is? Zach, would you please go through that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. The edit is in paragraph 3, where I inadvertently included an extra not in that paragraph, and so I will take that out. And with that amendment, we would request the default order to be issued.
And so with that amendment of striking the word not, you good with that, Stuart?
Yes, and I thought that, and I don't know when it's appropriate to say it, Judge, that there's an understanding that if we approve this, that this will come back to us at the next meeting if there has not been any answer received.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is that was stated by staff. So there's a motion, a second. Is there any discussion, any further discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you. Roman numeral 3.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. In this matter, 2025 NP 11, staff are requesting that this matter be dismissed for lack of any violations of RULONA.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan's excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Roman numeral 4.
Chair, Commissioners, staff requests approval of settlement agreement in 2025 NP 13 in Rate Commission of Eva Dozel.
Thank you. There's a motion. Is there a motion to
So moved.
settlement? There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you. All right, item 16, administrative matters under the State Ethics Act. Zach?
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. In administrative complaint number 2025-24, we are requesting a dismissal for lack of jurisdiction.
There a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Thank you. Roman numeral 2.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. In this matter, we are also again requesting a dismissal for lack of jurisdiction.
That would be 2525. Is there a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Pardon me. Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you. Motion carries. Matters dismissed. Item number Roman numeral 3.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. In administrative complaint number 2025-26, we are requesting dismissal again for lack of jurisdiction.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to dismiss 25-26. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
This is the one I abstain on, I think.
Okay. There's an abstention. And so we then move to Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman.
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. So that leaves us Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion carries. Next.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. In administrative complaint number 2025-27, we are requesting this matter be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Roman numeral 5.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. In administrative complaint number 2025-28, we're requesting this matter be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Gary? Okay, thank you. I hear a yes there. Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. And lastly, under this agenda item is Roman numeral 6.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioners, administrative complaint number 2025-29, we are requesting this matter be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction.
All right, is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you. We are now on item number 17, authorizations related to pending litigation. Jeremy?
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. The staff seeks a motion for the Commission to authorize amicus participation in the case of First Choice Women's Resource Center versus Platkin 24781 in the U.S. Supreme Court.
Okay. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. So is there any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan is excused, Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Which leads us to the last page of the agenda. Item 18, discussion of the next meeting. I'm checking the calendar. It would set us for December 5th. Is that okay with everybody?
I'm sorry, you said December 5?
Yeah, that's what
I'm in the wrong, sorry, I'm in the wrong month.
I think that's what I checked it.
Yep, never mind.
That's fine.
Yeah. The first Friday in December would be the next likely meeting. Anybody have a problem with that? We okay with December 5? All right, next meeting will be December 5. Moving thence to public comments. I will leave that to you, Amelia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't see any member of the public on the call today.
Well, thus we meet online. There's no reason to break the streak, it doesn't sound like. We're drawing those crowds in. Thank God we don't get paid by the participation. Well, wait a minute. We don't get paid anyway. All right. If there's nothing else to discuss, nice to see everybody again. So enjoy your vacation, which we've established it as being, and hopefully trips to Colorado.
Yeah.
And the Reina Sofia. Okay. We will see you all on December 5th, if not before. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Be
you
well,
all.
everybody.